Now, President Jacob Zuma is to address the Black Business Tribute Dinner to honor and pay tribute to Black business persons who ran successful operations during the height of Apartheid and played leading roles in the development of South Africa. For more on this, let's cross live to the scene in Sandton. Our reporter Mzwandile Mbeje is there. Mzwa, what's happening? What's expected?
Indeed, Francis, we're talking about people who beat the odds back in the years, and they are focusing specifically on people from the 50s, 60s, 70s and 80s. Those black people, you'd remember it was the height of apartheid, but they were able to get into businesses, and they were successful despite whatever restrictions, whatever laws that were there. Indeed, as you can see, President Jacob Zuma will address this event, and initially, because this event is taking place for the first time, they will honor only about 20 people from across the country, from various fields. People like Richard Maponya of Soweto, you know, he's very well known, his role in uplifting black communities. So this is a very important function. But to tell us more about this, I'm joined by Jackie O'Sullivan from Telecom. You know, Telecom is very instrumental in this. She will then tell us what exactly informed this and what they intend doing going forward. Welcome, Jackie. So this event is a very first event. So what are you hoping to achieve, and what's the way forward from this again?
Well, this started really as the brainchild of Sipho Maseko, the Group Chief Executive Officer of Telkom, and our Chairman, Jabu Mabuza. For many years, they have had this vision of celebrating the successes of pioneers from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and early 80s. And really what this is an opportunity for us to recognize those business pioneers who, as you said, have beaten the odds, have decided to make something of themselves despite the structural obstacles that were placed in their way. So it really is the first opportunity for us to do this. We are looking to see whether we could turn this into an annual event. We could be here all night if we wanted to. There are hundreds of pioneers, black pioneers in this country that we could recognize. But we feel that we can do this over a few years, and we can also look at specific sectors. So we could look at black pioneers in tech, black pioneers in fashion. So there's a lot of potential for this. We've joined with other sponsors, such as the IDC, the Land Bank, Standard Bank, BMW, and we've all contributed to make this event possible. So it feels a little bit more like a school reunion than an awards ceremony tonight, but it's just wonderful to see these faces back together again.
I see you chose only 20 people for the beginning. What was the logic behind?
So the logic was really just looking at just getting the ball rolling. So we've got a mixed bag of people. You mentioned Richard Maponya, which is the name that people know. Then we've looked at pioneers from across the country. So we looked at somebody like Lauren Mphahlwa, the Shabalala family, the Kunene family. These are people who started off not only changing business, but also starting to change communities, because they became role models, and it became clear to their communities that black people didn't need to be constrained, that black people could have this great potential. So we're celebrating people who opened butcheries and retail stores and spaza shops that grew into shopping malls. And it's really about celebrating the excellence that was what was there in townships and in rural areas and in the big cities. And it's been a fascinating journey to track down all these people and their stories.
Thank you very much, Jackie. That was Jackie O'Sullivan from Telecom giving us details of how this started, who pioneered it, and Telecom, as we know, they are really at the forefront of this. So later on, we expect President Jacob Zuma to also grace this event, which is a very important event. I've already seen people like Richard Maponya walking in earlier. So you can see people are very happy, because this is an event that really inspires even those who think they don't have opportunities in life. As the event begins, we will be able to come back to you, and when the president walks in, so that we are able to carry it live. It's back to the studio.
All right, thank you very much, Mzwandile Mbeje, live from Sandton, and we will dip into that event and cross live when we can. We'll take a short break. More news after.